What do you mean JK Rowling gave a lot of money to the No campaign? Yeah, today we are talking about problematic creators and what people can do about it. So let's get in. This one's been recorded off the back of the news that Joss Whedon has had yet another person saying that he was an abusive rear end on set. Now, whether that is true or not is still up for debate, however, and I would just like to make this abundantly clear to you guys. I do believe the people, I believe Ray Fisher, and I believe the people that have said about this. Because, to be honest with you, it hasn't all come flooding at once. It's not been a bandwagon jump. It's been people saying over the years, you know, Joss Whedon's a rear end, right? That he bullied people on set, that he was an abusive rear end whilst he had power. He was a bit of a power trip guy. Well, that's becoming more and more apparent. I'm sorry about the lighting. I am waiting on proper lighting so that this doesn't happen again. So how do we deal with this? Well, there's a thing I like to practice called separation. And what this means is that you can separate art from artist. So, for example, I love Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and because Joss Whedon doesn't have a place on screen, I can enjoy Buffy the Vampire Slayer without feeling guilty about it. I never knew Charles Dickens. I was a friend of one of the world's experts on Charles Dickens until he passed away. And I really, really, really enjoyed the work of Charles Dickens. Charles Dickens ran off away with a teenager. He was in his mid-50s. I can appreciate that because of that. Because I don't know Charles Dickens. Charlie Boy doesn't know me, unless I get a time machine. In which case I can slap him silly and say, what the fuck are you doing, you rear end? Because you're going to spoil your legacy. Roald Dahl was a hideous racist. Famously racist man who was told to water down the racial overtones of the Oompa Loompas by his publishing house. So yeah, in all fairness, there are a lot of people that we love from the history that we can't really approve of what they did, but it would be stupid to try and judge their actions by today's standards. This is where things get a little tricky though. Have you ever heard of Jim'll Fix It? If not, Jim'll Fix It was a show where you'd write into Jim, and Jim would fix it so that you could get what you wanted. But he only did it if you had a story, so he'd take terminally ill kids to go and meet Santa Claus and things. However, Jim turned out to be the most notorious sex offender the UK has ever seen. Jim's actual name? Jimmy Savile. And so, Jimmy Savile, because he had such a place in the nation's psyche, was scrubbed from our record. And although, to be fair with you, considering what he looked like, how did we not twig that he was a sex offender? Never mind. But yeah, Jimmy Savile had this show, and we've had to screw him from record. The same is true of Rolf Harris. Now, as a guy who has to walk on a cane, I am pretty annoyed about the Rolf Harris one, because Jake the Peg was something I could use for comedy. If people felt a bit, I don't know how to deal with him, he's on a walking stick, I used to go, don't worry, I'm just a bit like Jake the Peg, only this is my extra leg. Can't make that joke anymore because Rolf Harris turned out to be a sex offender. Now, the cancel culture, if we're going to use that term, has spread onto what's currently going on. And we've seen quite a few celebrities' lives ruined on people alleging things and it never going to trial. I fully support people wanting to take it to trial and hopefully do it. For example, I support Anthony Rapp in his efforts to make sure that Kevin Spacey sees justice. When Kevin Spacey was confronted about his allegations that he'd assaulted Anthony Rapp when Anthony Rapp was quite a bit younger, he went, I take it you guys didn't know I'm gay. Coming out is no defence. No defence whatsoever. So, how do we sort this issue out? Well, let's have a look at Joss Whedon. Now, Joss Whedon has been accused by several high-profile people of being a bully on set. Now, that's not as bad as sexual offending, but when he's bullying and torturing actors, mentally speaking, then it becomes an issue. You can't get away with being like Stanley Kubrick or Alfred Hitchcock these days. So, should Joss Whedon lose his job? Yes. And he should be made to learn that there are other ways or go into a new career. It is as simple as that. These days, harassment and bullying have no place in the workplace. They don't even have a place online. So, for the people who would like to go and send me abuse, you can reply by sucking this. Now, harassment and bullying have no place anywhere. They really don't. So yes, Joss Whedon, he shouldn't be blacklisted permanently. If he goes and he relearns and he wants to come back into it, fair enough. I'm not going to begrudge a man a redemption. However, he really should be one of those guys who goes, okay, I've made a mistake, I'm going to go away, and when I come back, I'll be a better man, and I'll prove it to you. That'd be great. Now, why did I mention JK Rowling in the little skit here? 2 reasons. One, JK Rowling has repeatedly lied about the origins of Harry Potter and where it came from. In her own words, she was as poor as it is possible to be without being homeless, yet she got a giant grant, an unprecedented amount of a grant from the Scottish Government to write Harry Potter. Links in the doobly-doo. And to get that book published. She pretends to be working class as much as she can be, but her writing betrays that she's actually just middle class. As a lad from a colliery town in Yorkshire, you can understand why I might not take kindly to that. Secondly, we can't avoid it. The trans community have called her transphobic. Whether she is or is not is up for debate. Unfortunately, in some cases, mud sticks. And this is one of those cases. You can like Harry Potter, you can like the world that she's immersed, this immersive world that she's created, and in fact, The Cursed Child exists. Fan fiction turned canon. So you can enjoy what she does without actually enjoying... You can enjoy what she writes without exactly enjoying what she does. On a personal note, I love the fact that JK Rowling is actually sticking up for females in their own places and standing up for sex-based rights in that regard. Whether she's been transphobic or not, I've yet to see. But, again, mud sticks, and that's why she gets a mention in the problematic creators bit. As I explained in a video that's not due out for a couple of weeks yet, this is a new set for me and new camera. I'm still getting used to everything being the wrong way around as I'm talking to you. So yeah, JK Rowling goes on that list too. Should JK Rowling stop? She should stop writing essays if it's getting this sort of attention to her. In fairness, with Ms. Rowling, I have no issue with her other than the fact that she is a unionist, hell-bent on keeping Scotland in the union with the UK, despite the fact she knows it pushes Scotland into poverty. And as a working class lad who believes in socialism, I can't bring myself to be of the same position. In my opinion, Ms. Rowling should stick to writing her books and her plays, because whilst I might not like the author, I do like what she does. Should we like Harry Potter? Well, yes. You can separate art from artist, and to be frank with you, Harry Potter has an absolutely brilliantly immersive world where you don't have to give her any money to enjoy it. So there we go. That's my thoughts on problematic creators explained to you in under 9 minutes. I hope you've enjoyed this. I've been Davey, you've been awesome, and I will catch you all soon.